Tomorrow's release of economic data will include a report on existing home sales. Now, we've learned that many home sellers aren't getting to cross the finish line, but how much of a change is the number of contracts falling through? Corey Burr is with Sotheby's International Realty. He joins us this morning to share some tips on closing the deal, closing real estate deals so that your contract won't fall through. Good morning to you, Corey. Good to see you.
Good morning, Wisdom.
All right, so we're talking about these contracts that are falling through. In your experience, in this economic time that we're in right now, what seems to be the common denominator when it comes to them falling through?
So the marquee right now is that the Federal Reserve is succeeding in having residential real estate cool down a little bit. And one of the side effects is that the number of properties that go under contract that fall apart has risen to 14% nationwide from about 12% at the height of our hot market. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but when you apply it to the millions of houses that sell in the country every year, that's a big change. And primarily what's happening is that in the inspection contingency and the financing contingency, they're not working out because the concessions that buyers are asking for the inspection, that's not being figured out between the seller and the buyer. And many buyers also aren't qualifying for the mortgages that they were hoping to get because of the increase in interest rates.
Right. So when you're talking about, especially when you're talking about, okay, I want this, if you're trying to buy, you're like, I want this fixed, and then the buyer or the seller is saying, no, I'm not doing that. How do you work around that? Because that could be pretty contentious. Well, not contentious if you're selling because you're like, next. But how do you work around that?
So this is a normal part of a functioning market where a buyer gets to have an inspection and they make a list of the things that need to be fixed. Now, in the hot market, we didn't see many inspection contingencies, but we're starting to see more and more of them now. So my advice to sellers is understand that the market has changed and work with the buyer to try to fix these. Typically, they're minor items that can be done for not much money and very quickly.
Right. Anything else that people need to know when they're coming to the table and they're trying to work this out to avoid even getting to this point?
Well, one thing that a buyer can do is do a pre-offer inspection. So before they make an offer on a property, have an inspector walk through the property and just make sure that everything is copacetic with it. That way you can avoid the inspection contingency altogether.
And this is it Maryland, D.C., and Virginia? Are they any different as far as this problem that we're talking about here with the contracts falling through, or is it the whole region is an issue?
It's market-wide.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else they need to do?
Well, really, buyers need to make sure that they do very strong work with a lender before they look for property. It's so important right now to understand exactly what can be bought, what loan amount they can get. And so there are no surprises when they go to make the application. Make the application before, run the whole loan approval process up to final underwriting, and they're going to have much more success getting a property. Okay, all right. Keep all that in mind. If people want to get in touch with you, what do they need to do, or with the company? Just call me at 301-346-3345. All right. Thank you very much, Corey. Appreciate your time this morning, getting up early and giving us some very helpful tips right there if you want to sell your house and not have any issues, hopefully. All right. Thank you.